Everyone, good morning. And just to recap a little bit from yesterday, the BPM or that business presentation meeting that you saw, when you guys master that presentation and put it in front of large groups or any type of group, whether it's large or small, people are going to see themselves in that presentation because so many people are living paycheck to paycheck, can't afford to have one spouse to stay home with the kids, um, you know, uh, living quiet lives of desperation, in debt, things of that nature. So when they see themselves in that story, and then they see that there's an opportunity for them to have their personal situation taken care of with some of the solutions that we have. We have solutions for really all of that stuff that people are dealing with in our communities. And when they realize that there's an opportunity there for them to make some money by sharing this information with other people and helping them out of their situation, the natural thing for them to do is to say, hey, look, I want to become a part of this business. And when they let you know that they want to become a part of the business, then all you need to do is get them coded directly to you. So that's why your code number is so important. So if you're listening to me on this call and you do not have your code number, talk to Dwayne about what you need to do to get that code number. And basically, all you do is go to ama.mywfg.com. Hopefully everyone can see my screen here. So ama.mywfg.com. And then once you go into it, as you can see, we're in 3 different countries. We're in the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. So most of the people that you deal with probably will be from the US. So you just go here and click United States. Then what you'll do is you'll go in here and you will, type in or have them to type in their social security number. So I'm going to put a fictitious number in here and see if it will allow me to go further, because if I put mine in, it'll say that, this person is already in the database. So I'm just going to come up with something here. Let's see, because I want you guys to see. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, yep. I'm trying to make sure I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And let's see what happened. January 1st. Let's make this person born in 1979. So the first thing they do is they'll go in, put their social, their date of birth, and click on next. Great. So I put in the social, date of birth, and I'm going to click OK. This is why it's important. This is why it's important for you to have that recruiter code. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put in my recruiter code, 739JM. And then when you click on verify, as long as you have gone through the system or been through the system before, with that code number, it will show your name here. Okay, so I technically could go in here and I could also say, okay, I can put in anybody's code number that I wanted to. Like I could put in Dwayne's code number, 60NOG. Okay, and then it's going to say verify, and as you can see, it shows his code number. Okay, and his name. Then you click on next. Once you go here, the one that you want to make sure that is selected is the associate membership agreement. But as you can see, if I just simply click on next, it will automatically go to the associate membership agreement. So whether you click on that or not, it's going to automatically take you there. And then you just simply go in here and you put the person's name. And any place that it's telling you that is optional, of course, you do not have to put anything there, but you want to put in the person's name, their address, of course, their state. And I want to get to a certain point because I really want to show you something in here. Pretty much everything in here is self-explanatory. The main thing that you want to make sure as well is you make sure you get that email address correct, because it's been times where someone have gone in there and put an incorrect email address, and then we have to get the company involved with getting it corrected and things of that nature. So I put all the demographics in, click on next, and see it's telling me that it's already in existence, this particular email address. So I'm going to change something about my email and just put something in here. Let's see, gmail.com. The system, guys, it captures previous information, so it knows if someone is in the system or not. So I put in that email address. Here is the main thing that I want to explain to you guys. When it comes to these background questions, if any of these questions are marked with a yes, you're going to have to send proof to the company of what it is. You know, so the first one is asking, well, first of all, it says to become a member of WFG using the online application, excuse me, you must reside in the United States. Please answer all questions on this page. A yes answer to questions 2 through 9 requires you to send in additional documentation. So it's right there on the page. The maximum individual file size that can be uploaded is 8, what's that, megabytes or something. So are you an existing Canada associate wanting to do business in the US? So, you know, hopefully when you're answering these questions with everyone, hopefully all of these answers are no, because like I said, if there is a yes answer, the application will sit in limbo at the company until documentation have been submitted. And usually I have to get involved. The SMD usually is the one that have to get involved with this process. So if you're ever coding anybody and the answer to this is yes, please let Dwayne know so that he can so that he can send something to me so that I'll know to contact the company with this documentation and I can follow up on it. So they wanted to know about any, you know, any felonies. Have you ever been convicted of a misdemeanor involving insurance investment? Things of that nature. Now, let me get to the question that most people have a problem with, and they're thinking that when they're talking about license, here we go. Okay, any other felony? No. Has any state insurance department, any other state or federal regulatory agency, you know, entered an order against you relative to violation of insurance? So hopefully all of this can be no. This question right here trips a lot of people up. It says, you know, have you ever been fined, denied, suspended, or revoked your license or registration? They are not talking about your driver's license. They are talking about your insurance department, anything dealing with insurance department, state of, yes, yes, okay, 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 okay. I'm gonna have to call you back, son. All right, bye-bye. Oh, okay. So sorry about that, you guys. I had an emergency phone call to come in from my son, so had to kind of take that. Fined, denied, suspended, or revoked your license or registration. They're not talking about your driver's license. So if a person's driver's license have been revoked, denied, suspended, or whatever, please make sure they answer no to this, because this is the one that I've had the most yes answers to, is that, but they're thinking about driver's license and not actual insurance department license, okay? Do you have any debit balances with any other insurance agencies or unsatisfied judgments? So hopefully, like I said, hopefully all of this can be answered no, but then when you get to the bottom here, it's going to ask you, are you legally entitled to work in the United States? And you need to be able to say yes to that, okay? And then you click on next, okay? Then while that's uploading, it's going to come to a DocuSign. They must come over here to the left and click on I agree to use electronic records and signatures. Then you click on continue, and then you start. Now this little fill-in right here, this is going to, you know, you keep clicking on this and it will advance it to each spot. So that's the home number that I put in. This is where you can actually come over here if you need to, and you can make corrections. So even though it's showing fill in and it's going to the next box, you can come here and make corrections to this as well. Okay. And so I'm going to continue to click fill in, and then it's going to come to where it wants you to do a signature, and you can adopt that signature, adopt and sign. So now in looking at this, all this is over here is your applicant acknowledgement. It's, you know, they can read this if they like, but all it's doing is asking them, will they, you know, are they planning to be in compliance with what we do? I am or will soon apply to become an insurance agent of the insurance agency World Financial Group Insurance Agency, Inc., or its subsidiary agencies, WFGIA, and possibly a registered representative of the broker-dealer Transamerica Financial Advisors, Inc., TFA. I agree to comply with the compliance guidelines of WFGIA and TFA, including but not limited to the following, you know, and then so they can go through and read all of these. Okay, I'm not going to do that for sake of time right now because I want to share with you some other information. But one of the things here says on number 2, it says, I will not solicit sales of insurance policies or securities directly or indirectly, and I will not supervise agents or representatives unless and until I am fully and properly licensed and appointed. So these are the type of questions that this section is talking about. I'll read another small one. I will deliver at time of solicitation the applicable current prospectus for the variable policy and underlying mutual funds. Okay, so these are just wanting to make sure that people are in compliance. They're going to fill out this W-9 here. Now, sometimes people are going to say, well, wait a minute, I would like to do this as a corporation, an S corp, or a partnership, or a trust, or a state. That's where I want, you know, I want to, you know, have the money to be directed there. WFG will not pay a corporation or a partnership. They will only pay an individual. So whenever someone is coming on board, and even if they have, like my husband and I, we had an LLC, and we still do, we have an LLC, and we actually wanted the money to go to that company instead of to our primary, you know, a bank account or whatever. But we wanted them to pay the company. But WFG will only do an individual / sole proprietor, single member LLC. So they have to click that first one, especially if they're doing a paper application. Otherwise, it will hold up the application. Now, if they want to take the money as soon as it hit their bank account and transfer it to that corporate account or whatever, they can do that. But as far as the name that goes on this W-9, it needs to be an individual and not the company. Okay, that has held up people's AMAs before as well. Okay, and AMA just is short for Associate Membership Agreement. So whenever you hear me saying AMA, I'm talking about this process right here. So then I sign on that. Now, when it comes to this section, the associate hereby elects to be, they can choose to be a dedicated member or a non-dedicated member. And let me just tell you the differences between the two. If a person has never been appointed with a life insurance company before and never been licensed or anything, and they have no other companies that they're dealing with, then they need to click on a dedicated member because they have no other companies. When my husband and I came to this company, we already had companies that we were appointed with, so we had to choose non-dedicated member because we already have companies. Okay, because once you start really moving up the ladder with the company, then they're gonna, you know, they're gonna start looking at, you know, which companies are you now appointing yourself with? Because keep in mind, we have 120 different companies that we get credited for as far as points whenever we do business with the companies that WFG have already outlined for us. Okay, so again, dedicated member is when they don't have any companies that they are currently appointed with. As an example, there are quite a few of you that are on this call who already have your license and you already have companies that you are appointed with. So then you could go over here and, click on your AMA non-dedicated member and then click your initial. So I'm going to go ahead and click this one because this is the one that was applicable to me when I did my AMA. And then I'm going to sign it right there. Then there's nothing else over here telling me to continue, so I will hit finish. When I click on the finish button, it's going to take me to where I am to pay. This is how the company collects the $100 that it costs to get that code number. Okay, so you're going to click here and it's going to go to pay now. They want to put their card number in. They want to put in the expiration date, the name, billing address, and city, state, zip, phone number. And of course, that email address is going to carry over from the previous, actually the previous page. Then you're going to click here and say pay now. If there is a problem with their credit card, okay, meaning that the money's not there, credit or debit card, and these are the credit cards that they take, American Express, Discover, MasterCard, and Visa. If there's a problem with it, it will not give them the code number. Usually when you click pay now and everything goes through well, you'll see it processing and then it's going to put up congratulations and it's going to put in there a copy of the letter that they're going to send to them in their email. And inside of that congratulatory letter, it will be their code number. Now that code number, when they first get their code number, is worth 0. Our job is to help this new person to come in here and to get onto a very fast start. Now what I want to talk to you guys about. So hopefully there's no questions about that. This part is pretty much self-explanatory. They just go in there, put in their credit card information, name, address, phone number, things of that nature, and they can get a code number. And the reason the company will go ahead and issue them a code number even before they get licensed is because they want them to go ahead and start building their business. Okay, because they are not licensed doesn't mean that they cannot introduce other people to this business. Okay, now, they can't go out and of course write policies and do things of that nature, but as far as introducing people to the opportunity, they can do that all day long. And guess what? By the time they are licensed, the goal is to get them promoted. So let's talk about promotion. Okay, let's talk about the promotion guideline. As a brand new training associate, because whenever a person starts out, they are a training associate. Now, to get to be an associate, if they use the fast track here, if they use what we call 3-3-30, that's 3 new business partners, 3 families helped. That means 3 people became a client in a 30-day period. Now they have been promoted to a 45% contract. Okay. When you first start this business, everyone, a training associate is on a 30% contract. If they come in here and they do 3-3-30, now you've just gotten promoted from a 30% to a 45% contract. And you may say, well, how can a person with no license get promoted? Well, guess what? They can. Here's how it works. Once they get their license, let's just say they're studying and they did their 3-3-30. If they're studying and they get their license, instead of them starting at 30%, now they're starting at 45%. I've had people to come onto the team and they did a 10-10-30. That means they had 10 new business partners. Okay, 3 must be direct. What do we mean by 3 must be direct? That means 3 people of the 10 must be direct to that person who just came on board. Because keep in mind, if you have 3 people that you already brought on board, if you have 3 people that are on board, those 3 can also start recruiting people. And let's just say each one of those 3 have brought on 2 each. So that's 6. And then you bring on, let's just say you brought on a total of 4. As long as it totals to 10 and you did 3 direct yourself, the other people that you brought on, the 3 people that you brought on, they can bring on however many they need to or want to. As long as it totals 10, 30, you have now been promoted to a senior associate. I hope everyone follows that. Now you've gone from a 30% contract. If you do 10, 10, 30 your first 30 days, you jump from a 30% contract to a 55% contract. And if you come on board and you go to a marketing director level and you do 15, 15, 30, and keep in mind, 3 must be direct. So in other words, you can't bring a person on board and say, go Johnny, go. And Johnny go out and recruit 14 and you recruited Johnny and you get a marketing director promotion. The company have this system built in a way to where it promotes you going out and building a business. So you get a minimum of 3. And if those 3, and however it happens, everyone else brings on enough people to where you have 15 people on board. And now look at this, it's 15,000 base net points. Okay. It's the same way with the 10, 10, 30, 10,000 base net points. If you do all of that within a 30-day period, you get your next promotion. Now, the industry track over here to the right is it's just the industry way. You have to do 20,000 base net points. Now, in order to get to that 20,000 base net points, what we're looking at now is we're looking at, let me see here, let me pull it up. I'm pulling up my calculator right now, okay? If a client comes on board, or let's just say you help someone to become a client, and they do $200 per month in premium, you take that 200, multiply it by 12 because the company annualizes it, that's 2,400 points. Now, if that business was written with Transamerica is the only company that gives us an extra 25 percentage in terms of the points. So I would take that 2,400 points and multiply it by 1.25, and that lets me know that I have 3,000 points from that one client. Okay, so that's how the points are made. It's really quicker to actually do it the fast track. That's why we have it over there to the left. You get promoted a lot faster by doing the fast track. Now, every once in a while, Alvin Darian, who is the executive marketing director, he will pull a play and say, okay, you can get promoted by doing a 117. I usually don't like a lot of those plays, but he's the EMD, so I follow suit. Now, a person can actually get promoted by bringing someone on board and that person becoming a client within the first 7 days, and you can get that first associate promotion. That's because of the special that Alvin is running right now. So let's play it back. I bring a new person on board. I help that new person to become a client within the first 7 days, and now I qualify for my associate promotion. So that's how that works. The reason I personally don't like that play is because I want a person to come on board and bring 3 people on board, 3 families helped in a 30-day period, so that they're building a stronger team. Okay. But that 117, it almost equates to a 3-3-30, because if a person is bringing someone on board every 7 days, that pretty much equates to the 3-3-30. Okay, now let's talk about senior marketing director. Senior marketing director, you have to have 3 direct business partners. 1 must be a marketing director, or 2 can be a senior associate. Okay. You have to have 10 life licensed business partners on your team. Now keep in mind, the fast track, we said nothing about anybody being licensed here. You only start talking about licenses when you start talking about the senior marketing director, or if you're talking about doing it the industry track. You see, a senior associate on the industry track have to have 4 licensed business partners within a 3-month period, and a marketing director must have 3, but 5 licensed business partners and 40,000 base net point. Now, the senior marketing director, again, you need 10 life licensed business partners, 75,000 base net points in 3 months. And of that 75,000, no more than 37,500 can come from one leg. Okay. So in other words, you can't have one really strong leg and all the points come from that leg, all 75,000. So it doesn't work that way. The company, again, is looking at helping you to build a strong base shop. Okay. And then also $20,000 cash flow within a 6-month period must hit your account. So you can actually hit the points before the cash flow hits your account. You know, it just depends on, you know, how the, you know, how it's set up, who's doing what as far as bringing on the points, and then the 40-60 split. Okay. So the $20,000 cash flow, as long as $20,000 hit your account within 6 months, 75,000 base net points in 3 months, you're looking at senior marketing director. Now, my husband and I, like I told you, within the first 90 days of this company, being with this company, we hit senior marketing director. So we had more than 20,000 to hit our bank account, and we went far over the 75,000 points. Our points ended up totaling about 92,000 our first 90 days. So I challenge each and every one of you, go out and hit senior marketing director in 90 days. We've set a precedence for that on this team. Dwayne hit marketing director pretty quickly. We also have another marketing director on the team. Her name is Tiffany Simone. She hit marketing director pretty quickly. So when you really put your mind to it, marketing director, you can knock that out. Okay. Then let's see.
A question. Can you break down the points?
Okay. But if you have a client that does $300 in monthly premium, you take that and you always annualize it. The company's always going to take that monthly premium, okay, as long as it's the target, because a person, keep in mind, a person on the IULs, they can overfund their accounts. But for simple numbers right here, I want to just keep it at $300 a month, and that's the target premium. 300 times 12 is 3,600 points. So if that was written with Transamerica, you'll take the 3,600 point and multiply it by 1.25, and that's actually 4,500 points when you multiply it by 1.25 if it was written with Transamerica. But if that particular policy was written with like Nationwide or any of the other carriers, then it would be the 3,600 points right here. Okay. So $1 is equal to 1 point. And again, the average client has 2,000 annualized or annual points, okay, with our company. So that means that they're spending about $166.66 per month to get to that 2,000. But so I'm going to ask you this question to make sure that you understand it. If a person is spending $100 a month, what would be their annualized premium? Who was that asked me that question?
It was Kenneth.
Kenneth, if a client is writing $100 a month and the company annualizes that, how many points is that for that client?
If it's written with anyone other than Transamerica, you multiply the 100 by 12, so it'll be 1,200. If it's written with Transamerica, you take that 1,200, multiply that by another 1.5.
1.25.
1.25.
And then that will be 1,500. Exactly right. So that's how the points work. Okay. And guys, trust me, you're going to run into people who can say, you know, I just ran into a gentleman the other day, and he told me he had lost so much money in his 401k and he haven't bounced back, but he doesn't want to, you know, build it back in the 401k. So when I had a conversation with him, I said, what's your monthly commitment? And he said, I can put away $1,000 a month. So I said, okay. Now, what I'm going to do with that 1,000, I'm not going to put the total 1,000 into a target situation, a target situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that a great deal of that $1,000 is overfunded in an account so that his savings can grow a lot faster. But that's going to be for a little bit more of an advanced conversation. But just keep in mind, if I did a target on him at $1,000 a month, I would take that 1,000, multiply it by 12, and then the number of points would be 12,000 points. If I do it with Transamerica, I multiply that by 1.25, so the points will end up being 15,000 points for that one client. Okay. Now what I want to do is, are there any more questions about the points?
Good morning, Arnethia. How are you?
Hi, is this Dina?
Doris.
Oh, this is Doris. Okay.
Yes, I have a question. You said the 117, is that in effect now?
Yes, it is.
And can you explain that again? I'm sorry.
Okay. The 117 is when you bring on a brand new person. Well, first of all, when you come in and you get coded, okay, you start, you're a training associate, right? So if you're a TA, a training associate, and you bring one person into your business, and that one person go ahead and get their code number, that's the first one. The second one in that 117 is that they become a client. And then the 7 on that 117 is that they did it within the first 7 days. So that means that person saw what it is that we do. They like what we do. They say, I want to become a part. And not only am I going to become a part of what we do, but I'm also going to become a client. If they do 117 within the first 7 days, they get a code number, they become a client, you submitted their information, their application to the company within the first 7 days, they then you get your first promotion. So the 117 is in lieu of the 3330. You can do it the 117 way to get your first promotion, or you can, do the 3330. Does that help? Does that make, do you understand that one?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, say that again. Their personal sale actually goes to their trainer, but when they come on board and they do their 117, then that promotion goes to the person who brought them on board. You got it? Okay. So let's just say, I am the person who's bringing Doris on board. Okay, I just got started with the company myself. I'm like, okay, great. I'm looking to get my first promotion. You get your first promotion by bringing somebody on board and helping them to also become a client. If they become a client within their first 7 days, then I just received my first promotion with the company. Now, the new person that you just brought on board, if they go out and now, because of the people that they know, okay, because, whenever I see something really good, the first person I go to is I go to my family. I'll say to my sister, Shirley, you need to take a look at this. If I go and I help Shirley to become a client, then I just got a promotion for helping someone else. I did a 117. And then Shirley's going to probably say, hey, look, I know a lot of people that I can help with this as well. I want to come on board. If she do the same thing, and we're not even talking about having licenses yet. We're talking about, whether they have a license or not, they can get their first promotion by going through this 117. Okay.
Arnethia,
yes.
If the person doesn't have a license, bring on somebody, and that person, the person they bring on, gets an insurance policy, then he gets the commission.
Then he gets the
license. They can't get it. Does it just hold in a kitty until they get their license?
Exactly. Right.
You said right.
Yes, I can go into the system. I can actually go into the system and put a person's code number. Like say for instance, you know, what happens is if a person comes in and they get a code number and they get a promotion, I can go into the system as the SMD and go ahead and put that person, transfer them from being a training associate to an associate. And it's going to stay right there. Of course, it'll stay right there until they get their license. When they get their license, instead of them starting at 30%, they could start at 45%. So people are working on their promotions while they're not even licensed yet. People are working on their promotions.
Excuse me. So if people bring policies on, and if they're not licensed and they bring 10 people on board, they get 10 different policies. What happens to their commissions at that time if they're not licensed? Does that hold into a kitty, or do the commissions roll to someone else?
Okay, if they are not licensed and they're bringing people on and their policies are getting written, then yes, that will roll up to the person, the very next person that have a license. So that's why we stress to people, go ahead and get your license, start working on getting your license, because no license is no money. You know, you want to get your license, you want to get a promotion as well. We don't want you to just stop there. But you also, the way that we traditionally do this whole thing, which we're doing something different with Dwayne's team, the way that the system actually works is the first 10 field training appointments actually goes to the trainer. Okay. But with Dwayne's team, you know, we're doing something a little bit different. People can, that's one of the reasons why Dwayne had everybody in class so soon, because we want you to get licensed. You still have to be trained though. That's why I really like the traditional way that the system works, because a person who's coming and they've never been licensed before, they can have a license and still not know what to do, you see. So, but what we're doing here, the way that Dwayne have all of this set up is a lot of this training that a brand new person is going to be doing is they're going to be doing a lot of stuff looking into the Dropbox, you know, and asking questions. You see, all of these questions that may arise or come up is usually taken care of when you're, you know, in the field and you're doing field training. And so the field trainer actually is the one that would be usually writing those policies, at least the first 5 to 10, while that new person is in field training, because now they give up 5 or 10 field training appointments so that for the rest of their career here, they will know, as they bring people into their business, they know exactly what to do. But the way we're doing it with Dwayne's team, with this team, is you're licensed, you bring somebody on board, then guess what? You will go ahead and you will write that person. So that's why Dwayne said to everybody, go ahead and get your license right away. But in the traditional way that we do and run this business, the first 5 to 10 field training appointments actually goes to the field trainer.
This is Jamie again. I'm sorry. Thank you, Anithia and Dwayne, for everything that you're doing. Just for points of clarity in this industry right here, commissions cannot pass from one person to another person in this industry without a person being licensed by the state that they're in.
Exactly.
And that's very important to remember, that's why the commission structure is set up the way that it is, because there's no money that can transfer hands except for $100 for a referral in this industry without your license being in jeopardy for doing it. Okay, because it is absolutely illegal to do that. That's right. And the second thing is, guys, for the training that we're doing or that we're receiving like this versus the person, and this is how everybody makes their money. The first 5 to 10 that you give up for that training associate that's going out training, you spending all of that extra time, that's a lot of money that would be spent out in regular training to try to even any industry to try to become able to do this, so and become proficient at this. So, you know, once again, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to set up a structure like this, so that way we can truly get on a fast track and not skip a beat. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate that. Yep. Yep. Any more questions on that?
I have a question, and I got on board a little late this morning. This is Coach P.
Okay.
Okay. Have you already went over the 330?
The 330?
Yes.
Yes, I did. The 330 is, do you understand it, or are you asking questions about it?
I just want you to explain it to me briefly.
Okay. All right. Well, the 330 is how you get your first promotion from a training associate to associate. That means you bring 3 new business partners on board. 3 families have been helped. That means 3 clients in a 30-day period. So usually the 3 people that you bring on board as a business partner, you know, one of the rules to what we do, part of the system, is that they become a client as well, because it's going to be hard for a person to come on board. They're not a client, but then they're out there trying to tell other people that they should be. So part of the system, and one of the things that make our system run so well when people get a license, because there are thousands of people out there who have a license, they don't have a system like this, and they just go and pass the test, get a license, and have no clue or knowledge as to what to do. But with our system, we help 3 people to come on board. Then we help those 3 people to become a client in a 30-day period, and it just pushed you from a training associate to an associate. Okay. So does that explain it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Got it. Okay. And if you
have a question about that.
Okay.
Let's just say I miss the 330. For an example, maybe I brought 3 new people on, and you know that only 2 of them, you know, got policies or whatever within the 30-day period, and it took 45 days for the 3rd one. What happens in that kind of situation?
After the 30 days, it starts over, another 330. But guess what? Guess what you did get? You were able to write 2 people within that 30-day period. You know, so you still got compensated. But as far as that promotion, that's why, you know, they put the limit on it, because if they said 3 until whenever, then that 3rd person you would probably get, you know, it may take you 60 days or so. So it just put a little bit of, you know, the psychology behind it is that 30 days is a cutoff, and after the 30 days, it starts over. Okay, so it's important to get that 330. It's just like I have one more thing to do this month, because they set the deadline. I'm going to make sure that it gets done in terms of bringing another person on board. I don't know who that person is, but I'm bringing another person on today. I have no clue who it is, but because of the deadline, it just pushes you to do some things. So yeah, so if it's after 30 days and you only have 2, then you start over the next month. Say, okay, I've got to get 330, because it needs to show up that you did 3 within that 30-day period. Does that answer that for you, Jamie?
Yes, it does. But even if I do start over after the 30-day period, if I got the 2 within the 30-day period and I now start another 30-day period, I carry those 2 with me, and they also help me to try to get the next 330, correct?
Exactly. Yep.
But you can't count that. You don't count those 2. You have to get 3 new ones, right?
Yeah, but what he's saying is that you use those 2 people that you brought on board the month before.
Okay.
What if each one of those 2 go out and get 1?
And get some people, right? Okay.
Right. And then you go and get 1. Then that, you know, because everything is easier with a team. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of saying, okay, you need to do 3 within 30. That's why I like the 3-3-30 a lot better than that 1-1, you know, 7.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Because it makes you stronger. It makes you stronger. You know, I'd rather have, you know, 3 people on my team, you know, trying to help me get to the next level. So then going to senior associate, if you do 3-3-30, so senior associate, that following month should be pretty simple. Because if each person on your team, they focus on their promotion of getting 3-3-30, if each one of those new people focus on getting 3, you'll hit senior associate with no problem, possibly even marketing director.
I like the team approach. I tried doing this as a single, as an individual person. It's very difficult, but as a team, like doing it in a team, I think that definitely helps, to assure success.
Oh, for sure.
As a team. Yeah.
For sure. And as your team gets bigger, you'll have a lot of people doing a little. It still adds up. It still adds up. So, one of the biggest regrets from some of the top leaders in this company is that they did not go and build fast enough. So if I can impart anything to each of you, is to go build fast enough. And the best way to do that is by getting groups together. I'd rather see, sit and have a presentation in front of 40, 50 people as opposed to me going to see one by one. So again, the name of the game with this business is seminars, which is why so many people with their license don't win, is because they don't have a story to tell. They just like, hey, you want some insurance, or do you need some coverage? No, we have a story to tell, and then we give solutions to that. And some of the solutions just so happen to be insurance. You see, so I love the psychology behind everything that this company has set up. I haven't seen any flaws yet with how they have this system set up with this company, which is the reason why so many people are making hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. Guidelines, I think, yeah, it is. I saw the promotion guidelines in Dropbox, so that's there if you want to get a copy of that. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that this particular PowerPoint that I came up with, the difference between, and who was that I was talking to just now? Was that you, Dina, or was that Doris that I was just talking to, the female just now? You said that you was working by yourself. Doris? Okay. All right. So Doris, this is what it looks like when a person is doing it personally. This is why so many people with their insurance license they're not super successful as they could be if they had a team, because they're doing everything personally. But when you have a team and it starts looking like this, then the money just looks so much better when you build a team. So guys, my suggestion is to go out, get your, whatever your promotions are, wherever you are right now. And Dwayne will go over that with each of you in terms of where you are, because he put some special things in place for you guys. Wherever you are right now, focus on your next promotion. And it's so beautiful, because the way you get promoted is that you have to, help someone else get promoted. In my opinion, this is what's wrong with corporate America. Corporate America is not trying to push people to get promoted because the manager doesn't want anybody to take his job. But here, the more you help someone else to get promoted, the more you get promoted, you see. So as you're bringing people on board, those 330, when you bring 3 people on board, then the next month you should be helping them to push for senior associate. If each one of those 3 are pushing for senior associate to get 10, 10, 30, guess what that should do for you? That should push you straight to marketing director or above, you see. So go out, build big, and let's all win together, because that's the name of the game with this business. Anyone that's on this call that gets 2 pieces of business in before 11:59 on May 31st will walk across the stage at convention. So I'm excited about that, and also giving the team an opportunity to do that as well. So for those of you who are licensed, just keep that in mind. 2 pieces of business written, as long as you're licensed and appointed. That's why we're telling you. When we're telling you guys to get licensed and appointed, it's for a reason. This thing is real. It's huge. And there's just tons and tons of money here to be made, and people need what it is that we're about. So let's try and get as many people across that stage as possible. I don't know if they heard you on the call or not, Dwayne, but you already have that SMD, EMD, EVC, executive vice chairman voice. So I'm super excited about hearing you on that national call. And guys, get ready, because a lot of you will be mentioned on the national call, because I see big things happening with this group, especially with Dwayne, with the heart that he has of helping you guys reach the next plateau. So I'm excited.